San Diego FC fans, finally, it is time. It is time to look ahead at what may be in the transfer window. It's officially open through the MLS, and San Diego FC has the opportunity to maybe right the wrong or whatever the situation is with Chucky Lozano. Host Mo of the Max Football Podcast. Thank y'all for joining me for a brand new episode. Transfer rumors are a-flying. We're going to talk about a guy that we apparently already have a principal signing with, and we're going to talk about a couple other guys that could be on the radar. I got 3 names to bring your way. Let's waste no time. Let's get into it. Again, not wasting any time. Let's hop on into it. If you're all over social media, if you're following almost anybody at this point that's covering this team outside myself, and thank you for hanging out and joining me for this one. We got to talk about him. We got to talk about the left winger, Elias Arturi, from FC Copenhagen, playing in the Danish Super League, the same league that Andres Dreyer came from. Wrong. And I wanted to say Marcus and Vargaston as well. So we're a little familiar with gaining players from over there. Now, this is a guy who's played a lot of football. He's also a Tunisian international, had played in the World Cup, played in 3 games in the World Cup. Didn't make much of an impact, but being in there, showing his ability to at least dribble meant massive, massive things. So, to go up through the entire stature, so far this season, he has played in 26 games for FC Copenhagen, all through the Cups and through the Super League, the Europa playoff. They have so many things in the Danish league that they play through. So, 26 games through them, and within those 26 games, only 4 goals, but within those 4 goals, he got 5 assists. But that's not exactly a negative thing. The way that they played at Copenhagen, he was used as more as someone who would set up chances, someone who would use his dribbling to beat defenders one-on-one and then cut inside and make something happen. That kind of sounds familiar. Kind of sounds like that guy, Chucky Lozano, something he would do a lot of dribbling, beating the defender one-on-one, making chances for other people, aka soaking up the attention. So that way a Dreyer and Vargston, a Soma, a Tverskov, a Godoy can score a goal. But at the same time, if we need him to, he can hit goals too. So as of right now, we have to talk about the situation that it is. According to I want to say Danish, if not a Turkish reporter that was on Twitter, and again, it's the same tweet that's been shared out a bunch. This guy has over 120,000-ish followers, and that's worth noting. Now, none of the big reporters, the Tom Borit or anything like that, have said anything else. So far, this is all just speculation. But he's a guy that can immediately take over and fill that gap that Chucky left behind. He's pacey, just like Pellegrino. He can finish just like Pellegrino. But he is one thing that Pellegrino is not, and that is a great dribbler. Imagine Mighton, but maybe a little bit more refined. Maybe a little bit more daring. But a little more successful. So right now, that story is that there was a $3 million offer given from San Diego FC. Copenhagen have given San Diego FC the green light to sign Arturi if he wants to go. $3 million was the bid. That bid was rejected. Copenhagen are hoping for anywhere between $3.5 to $4.5 million so they can get some return on investment on Elijah Arturi. I honestly think this would be an excellent move worth making, even if it costs us just under $5 million. And the reason why I think it would be such a good move for us is because, well, let's be honest, we need a proper left winger. He is it. He's pretty much in the prime of his career at 27 years old. He has played in the top competitions in the world, and I'm not talking about the Danish Super League. I'm talking about Champions League, where he scored one heck of a goal and also got an assist. He played in 11 appearances this year alone in the Champions League. He's a player that is not going to be a sexy signing. It's not going to be the, oh my God, we have to go buy an Achiri jersey. Oh my God, did you hear about the... It's not going to be that. But it is going to be a name of a player that is going to be able to make an impact on this team and on the attacking side, which is something we're desperate for, especially since the Chucky situation is still so out of hand. And I speak about that to quickly talk about it because Tyler Heaps did have a press conference today, and he did talk about it, and pretty much as he spoke on it, it's the same situation. Chucky Lozano has not done the things to prove to the team that he wants back, and the team has not budged on the stance of what it is he needs to do to come back. They have had offers for him, but Chucky does have a clause in his contract that says that he can deny going to any team he doesn't want to. So, all in all, what that means is Chucky is looking for his payout. Chucky's looking for his $20-something million payout. And once he gets his $20-something million, he'll go play in Italy. He'll go play in Turkey. He'll go play in Spain. Heck, maybe he'll go play in England. But he will gladly go pay after he gets his payout. So, I know I digress. Let's get on to prospect number 2. And it's not the guy you think of, but he is a well-known player from an English club. And now when I say that, he's not recently from an English club, but 23, 24, he did play for Fulham. And I am talking about Willian. Now, Willian is a player that if you follow the English Premier League, you know of him because of the time he spent at Chelsea. Over 339, I think it was over 330 games, 339, 338, something around that number. He played for Chelsea. 63 goals, 58 assists, and I want to say that was all within all competitions. Champions League, Europa League, everything. Let's see, Shakhtar, he played, I want to say, over 220 appearances for them. And then for Fulham, he played 79 appearances, scoring 10 goals, 7 assists. And then, of course, he had to play for the scum that is Arsenal. That is my opinion. Please do not block me for that and don't run away. I have my opinion on Arsenal. But the fact of the matter is this guy has been in the leagues for quite some time. And I do mean by leagues because he's not only played in the English Premier League, which most people think is the top league in the world. He's played in Brazil. Okay, he's played in the Champions League, played in Europa League, FA Cups, all that beautiful stuff. But he is getting old. I forget how old Pellegrino is. I want to say he's around 36, if not 37 as well. And I did say as well because Willian is 37 and will turn 38 in August. But here's the deal. We talk about a player, not just a dribbler. Sorry. We talk about a player that can make a real impact. A player that can actually draw attention to himself. Amal Pellegrino had that, but once teams realized that he could be beaten by pace, or I guess matched by pace, that kind of fell off. Willian would be newer to the league, completely new to the league, and maybe not as style-wise, but veteranness, just the mindset, the fact that he's seen so much. He's seen it at such a high level that maybe the MLS is a little beneath him. Now, again, at almost 38 years old, he's gone through some injuries over the last 2 years. He did, however, play almost a full season with Fulham, 31 games, which is massive, scoring 4 goals, 2 assists in that time. Can he finish if not go a season and a half, 2 seasons with San Diego FC. I don't see why not. If we maintained a Pellegrino, if we eventually fix the Chucky Lozano situation, or even just decide to stay with Mighton at the left side, or even Morgan, Willian is a good 1-2 combination. He's still a player that could get results. Again, we don't necessarily need an absolute goal scorer at the left wing. We need a difference maker. We need a playmaker, someone to be creative, someone to help take the attention off of Dreyer. And as much as Elijah Achuri is the more attractive and more youthful talent, Willian's got years and years in the Prem that could translate to something major in the MLS. Now, again, I'm not saying he's going to take the MLS by storm. I'm not going to say he's going to be the greatest left winger that's in the MLS. He's not going to be Sung Hyun Min. He's not going to turn into Dennis Buaga. He's not going to turn into any of these guys. He's just going to be Willian. And Willian, 3 years ago, was a difference maker. Maybe 3 years later, he could be a difference maker again. And considering the fact that he's worth under $1 million, I think would be even more enticing, considering the fact that I said it would cost $3.5 to $4.5 million to get Achuri over the seas into San Diego. It would get probably under $600,000 to get Willian to come to San Diego. And if that's under $600,000 a year, if we could get Willian for under $2 million for 3 seasons, sign me up. Sign me up. Even if that's on top of Elijah Achuri. All right. The third guy, you saw him on the thumbnail. I don't want to hear you yelling now, but we still have to talk about him. Because nobody else is. And the only people that are saying the negative. And I don't want to say the negative, but we have to talk about it. And it's Mo Salah. The Mo Salah name was being thrown around for quite some time. Once the Chucky thing started to kind of be totally apparent that he's not coming, and an Egyptian owner this and Egyptian owner that. And fast forward to today, in July, Sporting Kansas City is considered the favorite to sign Mo Salah if Mo Salah decides to come to the MLS. He very much still wants to play high-level football. He still very much thinks that he can be that player. And considering the fact that he's he just turned 34, he's still got a lot of time left in that tank. He's still got a lot of life in them legs. You know, he could play for a Atletico Madrid and get Champions League games. You know, he can go and decide to play for, I wouldn't say a Chelsea, or I don't know if he would stay in the Prem, but, you know, maybe he goes and plays for Fiorentina. Maybe he goes and plays for AC Roma again. Maybe it's, I can name a plethora, Juventus even. You know, I don't know what they're doing with Colomboani, but the point of the making is he would want Champions League football. And if he can get Champions League football, I think he would rather take that over coming to the MLS. But regardless, an MLS move for Mo Salah is very possible. Whether it is Sporting Kansas City or whether it is San Diego FC, which we're kind of hoping for, it's going to cost some money. It's going to cost some Chucky Lozano type of money. And with that being said, that's where I get very nervous about the Chucky Lozano situation. Because the facts are, until we clear him off the books, we do not have another designated player spot to even go get Mo Salah with. And that's what we're going to need. We're going to need anywhere between $20 to $27 million a year. He's going to need either some type of ownership of the club or shares in Right to Dream or TV revenue money or jersey revenue money. I don't know. He's going to need 20 to 25 plus million dollars plus incentives. Because at the end of the day, you're getting a 34-year-old Mohamed Salah, who just went on a great World Cup run with England, who last year in the Premier League played 27 games, scored 7 goals, had 7 assists, and played in 10 Champions League games, scoring 3 goals and 2 assists. You're not getting the Mo Salah of a few years ago that scored 20 plus in the Prem, but you're still getting legendary Mohamed Salah. Now, I think Sporting Kansas City might have the money, but I don't know what else they have. They believe that they are a strong candidate. They believe that their Egyptian owner might have that much more of an edge over our Egyptian owner. However, there's one thing that I can tell you that Kansas City doesn't have that San Diego does have, and that is simply worldwide recognition. If it, no disrespect. If it wasn't for Patrick Mahomes, Ted Lasso, maybe Priest Holmes, if you really want to get NFL real quick, you're not really going to give a damn or know about Kansas City. If you're not following the Chiefs, if you're not a red-blooded American, Kansas City doesn't go into your mind. If you live in England, you're not going to say, oh, Kansas City. Well, maybe you will because of Ted Lasso. If you're not going to go to Spain and say, oh, Kansas City. You're not going to go to Italy and say Kansas City. Asia. Germany. All these places. Turkey. I was going to try to come up with more names, but I came up with what I came up with. But all those places that I did name and even couldn't name could say San Diego like it's nothing. Could say San Diego like it's nothing. And then if you attach Mohamed Salah to San Diego, and you add a little FC at the end, it's massive. It's massive. It's almost like he plays for Liverpool. I know that's exaggerating, but it's not so much of the San Diego FC as I'm referring to, as I am referring to the city of San Diego. The San Diego that gets talked about in movies. The San Diego that gets mentioned in song after song and song and song. The San Diego that is the quote-unquote best place to live, has the best weather in the world, geographically this, anatomically that, big word analogy. Mo Salah next to the San Diego is more than I'm sure he even thinks. Maybe he doesn't know. But I know it's not going to be a bigger deal than Mo Salah in San Diego. And that's Mo Salah in Kansas City. But hey, if they get it done, more power to him. I can't do anything but be a hater on the outside. But here's hoping that San Diego knows what they need to do to get things done. Whether that is change their format or whether that is simply buying out Chucky and turning around and going to get Mo Salah. Maybe this owner has a $60 million investment in his pocket that he can turn around and flip to use that $60 million to pay off Chucky, to go get Mo Salah and set the world up for the new number 11 on San Diego FC in Mo Salah. That is if that is something that could happen. But I promise you, as much as Sporting Kansas City claims to be the favorite, as much as the analysts and the pundits say that they are the front runner, San Diego is not a far option behind. Again, we don't have Champions League, but if he decides to prolong that, I still don't see a better upside. I know I'm being biased, and that's okay. I'll be biased, so you don't have to. That's 3 names I got for you guys. I appreciate you hanging on. Quick little episode for you. Make sure you're liking and subscribing out here on the YouTube so I can bring you more episodes. San Diego FC goes back to work on the 22nd, and then we go back to Snapdragon on the 25th, where I will be live and from the supporter section, doing as much as we can to gain some footage there to bring back to you here on the YouTubes. If you follow, make sure to follow me on all my other platforms. I hang out on the TikTok at hostmo_MFP for the Max Football Podcast. And of course, you can follow the Max Football Podcast on Instagram as well. So until the next time we see y'all, thank you for hanging out. Vamos, San Diego.